What's up, guys? My name is Charles Larson, Larson Off-Road. Today I'm working on my 1992 Land Cruiser. I am going to be swapping out some window motors. Come right here. I'm hoping my regulators are fine. I have one window from when I bought it that doesn't roll down. But one of these guys, the gear rolled up and down. I'm going to show you on the driver's side. It's pretty much the same all the way around. I'm doing all four today. They're just slowing down. And then, like I said, the rear driver's side is like siliconed up and taped up. So the previous owner must have done that because they didn't want to replace the motors. So I'll do the fronts. It should be pretty similar. I mean, it'll be the exact opposite on the passenger side. And then with the rears, I'll show you maybe some differences as I go to do those. Try and make it as easy as possible for you. Okay, so we got the door panel here. I'm gonna start by popping it off, getting it off. You got a few Phillips. This just pops out. I'm looking around, don't see any more, so I'm guessing that it's all just clips to pop out. I highly recommend getting extra clips for these. I have a full Toyota clip pack. They're pretty much universal throughout most vehicles because more than likely you're going to break some clips. So we'll get this off and we'll go from there. Okay, so the tools I'm using, I've got this popper, this panel popper. I need a Phillips, and then I have this plastic one, just in case I don't want to mar up anything. This one's the nicer one, but I always end up using this cheap one. It came with something I bought, I don't know, something on Amazon, but I tend to lean towards this one the most. I use it for all sorts of things, so if you don't have one of these in your toolbox, I recommend getting one. They're very handy. Okay, so just a quick note. This pops out. You'll just use your popper here. Pop this one off. You got two screws there, and then a screw right down here in the handle. And then be careful when you're popping this off. Again, you don't want to break the clips, but I think the thing you got to worry about is this wood, this, you know, whatever you want to call it, MDF. Because these things just slip in there. This one I broke, so I'm probably gonna figure out a way to fix that. And this one just kind of slipped out. It broke a little bit, so I'm gonna have to repair those in some way. I'm not sure how just yet, and slip new clips in there, but I was able to salvage all the clips. They came out pretty easily. Okay, so I started on this side. I didn't need to do that. That was kind of a waste. The regulator is up under here. This is going to be the clip and plug. So you're going to be taking out, I think it's these three bolts that hold it in. And once I get there, we'll kind of show you how to slide it out. All right, so I've got these clips unhooked. Be careful. Very brittle, they're old. And then this, you know, this pops in here. This one pops in that hole up here. They're kind of Christmas trees, so, you know, just pry up on one side, pop it through, pry down on the other side, pop it through, and get these out so you got as much room, as much play as you can. This one that clips in here goes straight up to the regulator. So that is that. And I'm trying to feel on the inside exactly what we're looking at because it's really hard to see up in there. And from looking at the new regulator, I think it's safe to assume that this is going to be the right side. Okay, so I ended up taking out the entire regulator. You've got these three. Oh, look at that. They're Torx bits. Okay, so I discovered this on this one, Torx bits or a large flathead. To get the regulator off. I was thinking that it was a Phillips. I was using Phillips to try and get it out. So I took the regulator out on this one. If you're replacing the regulator, you've got a bolt that goes up here. Or is it one there, one there, one here, one here. So you had those first three, and then this one, and then there's one way back up under here. They're all 10 millimeters. So that's how I got the regulator out if you're replacing it. I guess now that I know the size of Torx bit, I'll be able to get that off. I have one of these tools. It's a little mini ratchet that you can put these into. This Cobalt kit, which is super handy. I recommend getting something like it. But like any job, I've ended up with way more tools than I needed. Ended up 10 millimeter ratchet, tried these, which I don't need. 10 millimeter ratcheting socket to get that one that was way up high in there. Flathead to get some of the clips, and then a couple different sizes of Phillips to get those other screws out. All right, so got this off. I have the new one to replace it. Put that aside. What I discovered, which sucks, so I'm gonna need to hunt down a regulator for this, is I have some broken teeth, which explains why when I roll it up, it starts to skip. So bummer there. I'm just gonna throw this in. Hopefully it helps since these are fresh teeth. And then I'm gonna order a regulator for this side. I'm assuming that all the other ones are fine, because none of them do the same thing as this window does. That's a bummer. I'm glad I took this regulator out, otherwise I wouldn't have seen that. So it goes back together the same way. These screws ended up being a T25, so it's gonna save me a lot of time on all the other ones now that I know I don't have to pull this out. Okay, so I got the new one in, got it all tight. I'm gonna grease everything really well. Again, I'm gonna need to replace this regulator. Got a buddy with the parts 80 series that I think I could probably rob one off of if he still got it. So I'll probably end up doing all this again tomorrow. But we'll get this in. Maybe this will fix it. I'm assuming those teeth are not them being broken. Still gonna do the same thing that it did before, which it is what it is. But I'll grease this one, put it back in, we'll see what it does. Okay, so come to find out, these clips are different. So I'm gonna cut the clip off. I'm gonna leave like an inch just in case I decide maybe these aftermarket ones don't hold up very long. I end up just ordering the OEM one, so I wanna keep that clip. So I'm gonna cut it about an inch out so I could always splice it back into the line if I need to. And then I am gonna solder them. I don't wanna use connectors. Since this is my personal vehicle, I mean any vehicle, I just want to take the time, solder them, so I know for sure they're going to make a good connection. So I was having a hard time getting this back in, and come to find out, I ended up pulling this window out. This broke off. So it's supposed to be like that, so it connects to the regulator. So I'm going to very slowly weld this back on. Without trying to burn that rubber too much. And then I'm actually going to tint this window while it's out to make it easier, and then actually cut both pieces so I can do the other side easily. Okay, after a fight, re-welded the bottom part of the or at least it was the bottom of the window. I got it back together. I went ahead and tinted the window while I had it out. It's not perfect. It'll do for now. I haven't tinted windows in a long time, but it looks pretty good, much darker than it was, which I'm stoked for. Soldered this new plug-in. It works perfect, even with the bad tooth on the regulator. It goes up no problem now. So I'm gonna put the plastic all back on, clip everything in where it needs to be clipped, speaker back in, door panel, everything in reverse. And then I have, new switch and bezel and everything for it. So that's that. That's how you swap that. And, it turned into a video on the regulator. I'm going to continue, and I'm going to do the rear door here. This is the one that's all siliconed in. I'll do that one next. and then I'll move on to the other side. So hopefully I have enough time to finish this today. Everything else should be pretty smooth sailing. This one just took forever. Okay, so working on this door panel, this cover pops off, which is different than the other ones. Pretty much all the same. These two screws, this one, take that off and then just pop the edges. So now we're ready to get this thing off. Okay. So all the same, pull the wire through. And again, just be careful. I mean, honestly, like expect to break clips, whether it's on these doors or, you know, the clips that are at least on the door switch. Those are definitely gonna break. But it looks like it's pretty much the same on this side. You got these 3 bolts and then the regulator. This is the line for the regulator, so it looks like it's about right here. It's gonna be the same. I'm gonna unhook these 2 and loosen this one, and then, you know, peel this up a little ways and then get to those Torx bits on the back, unhook this little plug. Exact same, splice and solder the new clip for the aftermarket door. And then I'm actually gonna, as I've been doing this, I've been tinting my windows. So I'm gonna probably work on this after. This is pretty old faded tint. But I'll get this one fixed, and then I think I'm gonna tint the rest of the windows, at least, you know, these 2 in the vehicle. Those ones I pulled out just to make them easier. Okay, so working on this last door, this is the one that's broken. So everything's straightforward, same as the other side, same as the fronts pretty much. The only difference is you got those 3 Torx screws that hold the motor in. To get the third one, you can get 2 of them when it's up. You got to get the 2 when it's up. And then there's the third one that you have to roll the window down probably about to here to be able to get access to that third one. You get that third one out, pop it out, put it back in, do that first one, roll it back up, and then get those other 2. Other than that, that's it. It's pretty straightforward, not as hard as I thought. It's just taking a lot of time because I'm also tinting the windows at the same time. So that's that.